Yes, 21% gains, not bad for 2011, David. So I guess I'm going to first start off by asking why now? Why the rush for so many of these luxury companies to list here in Hong Kong?
Well, I think that the markets here are willing to recognize the value in luxury goods because people here get it.
That's right. That's right. You go across the city and you see these huge lineups at Louis Vuitton, etc. But what about valuations? Do you think they can get a premium price for their offerings?
I think they have been getting premium prices, and that's why, the capital markets are drifting out to Hong Kong for luxury goods, whereas the European companies trade at a discount.
Okay, so maybe it's not worth buying in then if you hear the likes of Prada or Coach raising cash here.
Well, we like the idea of buying the European companies at a discount that are capitalizing on what's going on here.
Okay, so your top holdings so far?
Top holding is Jardine Matheson.
Ah, but that's an Asian listed company, right? I think in Singapore, isn't it?
Yep, Singapore and London. In luxury goods, we own Swatch, which owns low, medium, and high-end watches. We own Richemont, which owns Cartier, and Cartier is just booming. That's
right, Cartier is booming. Now, in your top 10 holdings, I don't see LVMH, which is the world's biggest luxury company.
We like LVMH, but we've really liked the watches and jewelry. We like the tangibles.
Why is that?
Because they last a really long time. And
but wouldn't, I guess, consumers buy less of them because they last so long?
I think that they're sort of viewed as treasures, and they can be handed on to the next generation.
Okay, that's how you see it. All right, so I also see a British American Tobacco Company in your top 10 holdings, Imperial Tobacco. I mean, these aren't companies that are in vogue necessarily in the last 20 years of health.
Well, basically we don't advocate cigarette smoking.
Right.
But they have a lot of pricing power, and we're very concerned about inflation. They pay good dividends. They buy back the stock. And in the case of BAT, it's growing all over the world.
Okay, it's growing all over the world. What about Brookshire Hathaway? That's in your top 10 holdings as well. Berkshire, as I said, pretty expensive as an individual retail investor, trading at 6 digits, pardon me. But what's the value right now in Berkshire?
We think Berkshire trades at a discount to asset value. Assets value is growing more slowly because it's really domestic focused. But we think it's a cheap stock, and it has no debt and lots of cash. Yeah,
it does have lots of cash. That's the I guess the bottom line for a value investor like Warren Buffett. Now, you're investing, I think, 75% of your fund in American shares. Is that right, or outside of Asia?
Well, we basically found that we think the big opportunities are outside of the developed markets today. Right. So 75% is beyond North America, beyond the U.S. So we have at least a third here in Asia, and we think that there's fabulous opportunities, Susan, in this part of the world.
Okay, well, let me ask you about going forward, because we talked about QE2 coming to an end, but there seems to be some euphoria on the markets because of what's happening in Greece getting another bailout. But how are you positioning yourself, say, for the rest of this year?
We believe the future's bright, and we think that the companies we've invested in have very good prospects, and we think the markets will drift higher, and that the fear that sort of enveloped the world will lift, and that if you own good businesses with good management at cheap prices, we think at Wintergreen will make money for our investors.
All right. Now, but what makes you so optimistic? I got to ask before I let you go, because there are a lot of concerns. I mean, take a look at some of the economic numbers we're getting out of the U.S. It doesn't scream recovery or fast recovery, really.
I think the U.S. will slowly recover, but really the economic ball is shifting to Asia, Latin America, and all over the Far East. And so that's where really our focus is, and where we think the great opportunities are. And I got a smile on my face this morning.
All right, David, that's a good place to be. Thank you for that.